afternoon. I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Wednesday, March the 8th. I think the big news today is probably the continued ripples from the news about what some Republicans at least plan to do about replacing Obamacare with Trump Care, their own plan of health insurance. I'd say the reaction has been universally bad from both the left and the right. Paul Ryan seems to like it, I guess, and some of the people in the House, but not many others. Tremendous resistance on the right wing of the Republican Party in the House. This is interesting in Arkansas. Rick Crawford, the U.S. representative from Jonesboro, says he doesn't like the plan, doesn't go far enough. He's among those that said, by God, we promised to get rid of Obamacare, let's get rid of it, no matter how many millions that might affect. The rest of the delegation is keeping pretty quiet about it. They don't want to get hung out to dry. Undoubtedly, Tom Cotton did go on national television this morning and said, let's not be too hasty here. What's missing from every other member of the Congress in Arkansas are any specifics about what they would do. After 7 years of complaining, it's about time for them to put up or shut up. And what Paul Ryan has put up is a plan that would cost more and would cover fewer people. And some of the estimates coming out today about what insurance would cost under this plan are staggering. It will mean many people won't have insurance. Let's go on to Arkansas. Not much better news at the Little Rock state capitol. What happened today at the legislature? Well, let's see. The Senate came to a dead end this morning on what to do about the campus carry bill allowing concealed weapons on campus, but not for good reasons. Really, the fight is between just how many guns we're going to allow on campus, how many people can have them, and in fact, new legislation, supposedly a compromise that the NRA loves, you might guess, because it would open up even more public buildings to gun carrying, even bars, in fact, to people with guns. Not if you're drunk, of course. If you took a gun into a bar, I assume you wouldn't drink, would you? Why would you go to a bar otherwise? What else do we have? The House committee this morning voted to abolish the Fair Housing Commission. The state's only civil rights agency, does good work in protecting tenants. Another House committee today defeated Clark Tucker's bill to require disclosure of who puts money into the dark money advertising campaigns that have become so prevalent in Arkansas politics. Republican politicians like dark money, of course. A Koch-funded operation, a leader in dark money spending, was the one person that spoke against the bill. The Senate late yesterday did pass 24-0 with 11 people not voting, a repeal of the dual observance of the Martin Luther King and Robert E. Lee holiday, a good vote. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Jeremy Gillum, who hopes to run for statewide office, is keeping his powder dry. He won't say where he stands on this issue. He says the process needs to play out. This process has been playing out, 110 years or so since 150 years since Appomattox. I think we ought to know whether we're for slavery or whether we're for civil rights, and it's time for the Speaker to stand up. He hasn't so far. A bill is advancing in the Senate that would essentially legalize gambling around Arkansas, prevent the ABC from enforcing laws against gambling machines and places that sell alcohol, that would authorize pull-tab gambling devices, let each prosecutor decide what was gambling and what was not in their county. I think this bill is unconstitutional. That's never stopped the Arkansas legislature before. Up in St. Louis today, Mike Maggio, the former district judge who pleaded guilty to take a bribe in the form of campaign contributions to lower a jury verdict against a nursing home, had his appeal heard today by an appellate panel. He says that he wants to take his guilty plea back. He says he wasn't fully informed. He's not sure the crime that he pleaded guilty to violating was actually a crime under other federal court precedent. There were a lot of questions from the appellate panel, mostly for Maggio's lawyer. I would say on balance, they didn't sound highly sympathetic to his appeal, but you can make mistakes guessing what appeal court judges are up to. Speaking of the courts, Leslie Rutledge, the Attorney General of Arkansas, she's got still more other states to file lawsuits in. She's gone to court now to help us try and strike down a California law on gun carrying. Maybe we could get the California Attorney General to come to Arkansas and work on some of our unconstitutional laws. Now, there's an idea. Bruce Westerman is very happy. So is Tom Cotton. The federal government, now with the new administration of Trump's, says because of all the complaints here, they're not going to try and put a shelter for refugee children in Garland County in an unused Job Corps facility. There's some kids from terrible circumstances in Central America that have flooded to our shores in incredibly unspeakable ways. Arkansas doesn't want them. We're scared to death of these children. It was another day for Lady Liberty to weep, but Bruce Westerman is really proud of the work he's done. Way to go, Bruce. It is International Women's Day. Some of the Republican politicians have been sending out Twitters talking about how proud they are that they're at work today, and well, good for them. I've suggested some of them could take a day off, and we'd be well served by that. Last night, 2 hours before the day took effect, Christy Buckner took a knife and killed Earl, her husband, in a domestic dispute. So that was the beginning of the celebration of the day here in Little Rock. And finally, because I need to keep up with a lot of things for people that read the daily newspaper, those of you who follow pearls before swine may have noticed that the Democrat Gazette today carried a strip that was actually an old strip. They censored something that they viewed as, I guess, not quite palatable enough. I think it was a joke about kicking hedge fund managers in the private parts. On a day like today, I think there are a lot of people that could use a swift kick. I'm Max Brantley. Resist.